Do you have some shelves of fabric? Me too. But we're gonna do a different kind of fabric shelves. Hey Kimberbell friends, Kristen Som here, and we are continuing with Candy Corn Quilt Shoppe. Today is kind of a big one. So we are going to work on the fabric shelves today. It's actually looks like a very easy block, but this one has our first chance for the people that are using a 5x7 hoop. So it's their first chance at doing the double hooping, both for the quilting and for the fabric shelves themselves. And it's also our first chance of doing double pop rulers. So we did this a lot with the boardwalk quilt, but this is our first time so far for Candy Corn Quilt Shoppe. So I will show you how to do this. It's not hard at all. Just need a visual on how to do it. Very easy though. All right, so also, if you haven't already ordered your thread kit, today is, we're going to use pretty much every thread. I think like every one of them for this one block. So if you don't already have this, it's a good time to get it and maybe even wait on doing this block until you get your kit. But this is a good one for this block. We're going to use up all of the colors, and it's such a great kit. I got mine from Oma Darlings. You should too, because they are sponsoring our project. So get your thread kit and get ready for this block. So fabric shelves. So you've seen my stash of fabric, right? I love my fabric. It's pretty exciting. So it's pretty simple. Mine are little pieces. This one, we're going to actually make a fabric shelf in our quilt block today. So the block itself is not bad as far as applique pieces and lots of things. It's really just lots of thread colors. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to need for today. So our first thing is the white with orange dots fabric. And as always, back it with fusible stabilizer. And this one, we're going to want this cut to 8 1/4 by 12 1/2. 8 1/4 usually is half, so make sure and notice that 8 1/4 by 12 1/2. Not that it really matters because we're going to trim it down afterward, but 8 1/4 by 12 1/2, white with orange dots, backed with fusible stabilizer for our main background, our main fabric. And then for the fabric shelves, so I was a little confused on which is the fabric shelves and which is the back panel when I was cutting them, but I figured it out, and you will too. So this large one, the black, is fabric shelves. So this one we're going to want cut to 5 1/2 by 10 1/2, and as always, backed with fusible stabilizer. This is an applique piece. All right, fabric shelves in black. It's the plain black, not the one with the witch on it. Plain black in 5 1/2 by 10 1/2. And then for this one, it's just plain gray. This is the back panel, and this one we're going to cut to 4 by 8, and as always, backed with fusible stabilizer. And remember that this is the one I was telling you that when you lay it down as your applique piece, make sure that it is right side up, because it doesn't look all that different from the back stabilizer. It probably depends on which stabilizer you're using. I'm using Pellon SF101, and really the light gray versus the little bit darker gray. So just be careful when in my very first hooped one, I think it was, not the hooped, the headstone. On the very first headstone, I had it what I thought was right side up, and it turned out it wasn't, and I had to pick it out and start over. So just use that as a heads up to make sure and check the light gray and versus the backing. So this one, back panel, 4 by 8 as your applique piece. And then for our batting, so the final cut size on this one is 6.5 by 10.5. And so that means we always wanted to have at least a 1/2 inch larger. So 6.5 by 10.5, that means that we want our batting to be 7 by 11. So 7 by 11 for your batting. I'm using Warm and Natural. Kimberbell has their own stabilizers and batting now. I haven't tried them yet, but I bet they're great. So you should give them a try if you haven't yet. I should too, I know. I'm finishing up what I have. So 7 by 11 on your batting. All right, and then like I said, get your thread colors ready because we're going to use lots of them. And I am going to, I'll probably stitch this twice. I'll do at least the quilting twice just to show the people that are using a 5 by 7 hoop how they will do it. A quick visual though will be doing 4 by 6, 4 by 6, 2 by 6. So that would equal to 10 by 6. And we want this block to come out as 6.5 by 10.5 as our final cut size. So that means that we want our quilting to be that size. So those of us that are not using a 5 by 7 hoop, we are going to go for quilting in 6 by 10, and we are going to use Halloween 3 in a horizontal. So Halloween 3 is that really cute witch one. It's got witches and stars and little swirlies. And in all honesty, the fabric shelves are going to take up most of the blocks, so we're not going to see that much of this, unfortunately, but hopefully we can use it on like a border block because it's a really cute quilting design. I like that one a lot. So anyway, Halloween 3 in horizontal in 6 by 10. I think that's it. We've got our fabric. For our thread, they're using white. I will probably at least use a light gray maybe. I'm having a hard time using the same color as our fabrics. I like to use something that stands out a bit more, but we'll see. I'm trying to go along with how Kimberbell is doing it, and their quilt certainly is gorgeous. So either white, light gray, maybe even a light orange. But we'll see. So anyway, on the witch Halloween 3. So all right, let's go ahead and do fabric shelves. So one other thing is that I am going to do a small tutorial using Sew It Pro. A few of you have seen that from when we did Vintage Boardwalk and probably other group projects that we've done. It's an easy way for me to show you this is what it will look like, you know, so and how to merge files if you decide to do that, how to delete steps if you decide to do that. So that's a good point. So on this one, for those that have their largest hoop is an 8 by 12. So if you use an 8 by 12, actually that one won't matter because the 6 by 10 quilting design will fit just fine. So that one's not an issue. It's only an issue if you use an 8 by 12 quilting design or an 8 by 10 quilting design, it wouldn't fit. But 6.5 by 10.5 will fit fine for those that are using an 8 by 12 hoop. And for those using a 5 by 7 hoop, I will give you more information and a separate tutorial just using a 5 by 7 hoop. And I'll show you on embroidery software, and then I'll also show you using your machine, because you can do it either or on your software or on your machine, either way. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Fabric shelves.